of different locations marked on it. I'm going to have the detective go through it.
So marked.
Detective showing you equals 13. Do you recognize this to be the same area that we've been talking about?
Yes.
And where the number 1 in the red box is on this exhibit, would that be very generally the area where that camera was located?
Yes, here.
And would the green arrow with the triangle around it generally depict the direction that camera was facing?
Yes, the camera is facing in a northerly direction.
Okay. Did either you or your partners collect video from that location?
Yes.
Do you remember specifically who collected the video?
Yes, it was ultimately collected by Detective Zaria with assistance from our Technical Investigations Division, one of our techs.
And Zaria, is that spelled Z-O-R-I-L-L-A?
That's correct.
And after Detective Zaria collected the video, did you discuss with him that that was the location where he collected it from?
Yes,
Did you have an opportunity to review raw video from that?
I did.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go, let's stay with that same building, 6200 Hollywood Boulevard. Did you collect any video from any portion of the building along Vista Del Mar?
Yes, I did.
And would that be depicted on People's 13 here?
Yes.
Can you identify that for the court?
Yes, that would be a building here identified as number 2, which is on Vista Del Mar, just north of Selma.
I'm sorry, I meant the building at 6200 Hollywood Boulevard.
Okay, sir, I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
Yeah, my apologies. So, did you collect surveillance video from the area of Vista Del Mar that's specifically connected to 6200 Hollywood Boulevard?
Yes.
Okay. And where would that be depicted on this exhibit?
Up here, marked 3 and 4.
All right. The camera's marked as number 3 here. Were there 2 different cameras at that location?
Yes.
Can you describe for the court how those cameras were oriented?
Yes, 3 had, there was 2 cameras facing, one facing kind of in a easterly direction, another one kind of offset, kind of facing in a westerly direction. So one east, one west. And then camera number 4 was a camera facing out from, I believe it was a loading dock, facing out westerly onto El Centro, which is the first major street that goes up to Hollywood Boulevard, east of Argyle.
Okay, the cameras at number 3 on People's 13 here, were those cameras, can you describe kind of where they were on the building? Were they oriented high and facing down, or?
I could best describe them as kind of at a street level, facing out from a window. So they would probably be at height, window height level.
Okay.
So when you say out from a window, behind the glass, in front of the glass?
Yes, out from glass.
Thank you.
Was that a private residence?
Yes,
Okay. So it would have been inside of the residence facing out towards the street?
that's correct.
And did you or your partners collect that video?
Yes,
Do you remember who it was that collected it?
yes, that was collected by Detective James King. That was a video that was forwarded to him by the resident.
And would that be K-I-N-G? How do you spell his last name?
Yes, K-I-N-G.
And after Detective King received it, did he send it to you?
Yes, he did.
And did you have a chance to review the raw video from that?
I did.
Besides video, was there anything else collected at that location?
From location 3 here?
Yes.
No,
Did the cameras at location 3 also have audio?
they did.
Okay. You've already talked about the camera number 4. I believe you said that was above a loading dock?
I believe it was adjacent to, or just above a loading dock.
Okay. And which direction did that camera face?
Primarily, it faced in a easterly direction.
And would that have captured El Centro Avenue?
Yes, captured the sidewalk and partial view of the street.
Okay. Did you or any of your partners collect that video?
Yes,
How was that video collected?
that was part of the overall video that was collected from 6200 by Detective Zaria with assistance.
Okay, so essentially the same as camera number, what's labeled as number 1 on People's 13?
That's correct.
All right. And did you watch the video footage from that camera?
I did.
Okay, lastly, I want to direct your attention to 1616 Vista Del Mar. Do you see that location depicted on People's 13 here?
Yes, I do.
And which location is that?
That is marked number 2 here.
Okay. Did you personally observe those cameras when you were canvassing for video?
Yes.
Were you able to actually watch the video at that location?
Yes, I was.
And ultimately, did you or your partners collect that video?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm pulling up the drive that was previously marked as People's Exhibit 9. And Detective, just showing you the files, I'm going to go by the first one, 1616 Vista Del Mar. Do you recognize the 2 applications that are in that folder?
Yes.
And would that represent the raw footage that you collected from that location?
Yes, that's the wrong image.
Okay. I'm going to go to the next folder, which is labeled 6200 Hollywood Boulevard. And in this, there are 3 folders labeled camera 1, 2, and 3. I'm just going to open camera 1. Would this represent the video that you received from the location number 3 on People's 13?
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, the third folder is labeled 6200 Hollywood Boulevard WNPM. Would this represent the video that you collected from locations 1 and 4 on People's Exhibit 13?
That's correct. That's the video that's collected from those locations.
Okay. Now I'm going to play the combined video. And Your Honor, I'm just going to play it in its entirety, and then I'll ask follow-up questions.
What is this exhibit?
It's still People's 9. Do you recognize each of the clips played in that combined video to be clips that were collected from the various locations that you previously described?
Yes, I do.
My last exhibit, Your Honor, is 6 pages. I've asked to mark it as People's 14A through F, and I'll staple it at the conclusion.
Somewhat. Next in order.
No, but I can send it to you.
Were they previously sent?
No.
Mr. Pestelman?
One second, sorry. These are all just still images collected from the surveillance video. The surveillance video as a whole was turned over to defense counsel. There's nothing novel or new about the,
Why don't you show it to him?
Well, you want, I've seen them, it's okay, it's fine, it is from the video, it's not that, we have the video, but if an exhibit's being entered into evidence, I'd like copying it, pretty standard operating procedure. So those are still shots from the video, and we should have a copy of it, so, but we'll proceed, we're fine, I'm familiar with it.
Do you wish to review them briefly?
I did earlier, to
All
save
right.
the court some time, so we're ready to put it on.
I appreciate that.
okay. Detective showing you People's 14A. Do you recognize what is depicted in these 3 photographs?
Yes,
And what is that?
that's the angle of the video, stills from the video on Argyle, just north of Selma. That was taken from the adjacent parking. And that captures video of somebody holding a gun, his left, appears to be left hand.
Okay. From your investigation, were you able to identify who that person is?
Yes,
Who is that?
we're King Myers.
Okay. I'm going to show you 14B. This one has 2 photographs that are individually labeled, correct?
Correct.
Do you recognize where each of those photographs came from?
Yes, I do.
And the photo on the left, where is that from?
That's from the onset on Argyle, just north of Selma, at the parking entrance. The one on the left, the one on the right is the loading dock off El Centro, just kind of north of Vista Del Mar.
Okay. And consistent with what you said previously, would this also depict the defendant, Mr. Mayers?
Yes,
All right. And specifically the detailing on the hood of his sweatshirt?
yes, consistent.
Okay. Next is 14C. Would you agree the photo on the left came from the same parking entrance and the photo on the right came from the same loading dock area on El Centro?
Yes, this is all video that I reviewed. Yes, it is.
Okay. And specifically in this, just highlighting the design of the chest area of the sweatshirt?
Yes,
Okay. I'm going to move on to 14D. I'm going to only direct your attention to the photographs on the right, which is labeled as C on People's 14D. Do you recognize where that photograph comes from?
yes, also from the parking camera on Argyle.
Okay. The person on the far right-hand side in this photograph, were you able to identify who that was?
Yes,
Who is that?
that's Terrell Efron.
The victim?
Correct.
I'm sorry, on the far right, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, and I should clarify, Your Honor, on the far right of the photograph, which is also on the far right, people see.
Thank you.
Okay, detective, directing your attention to People's 14E. Do you recognize where these photographs were taken from?
Yes, I do.
All right, the left, would you agree it's from the same parking entrance, and the right would be from the loading dock on El Centro?
That's correct.
All right, but the only addition on the left is being in the box around the person who's partially depicted?
Yes, the person in the red jacket
Okay.
coat.
And through your investigation, were you able to identify who the person in the red jacket is on the far right in People's 14E?
Yes,
Who is that?
Janelle Phillips,
Also known as 12E?
ASAP 12.
Okay. And lastly, 14F. Do you recognize where each of these 2 photographs came from?
Yes,
The left being the parking area and the right being that area on Vista Del Mar?
Correct.
Okay. Were you able to identify who the person depicted in each of these photographs is?
Yes,
And who is that?
the Elijah London.
Would he also be known as ASAP Hills?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions for you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cross, please.
Yes, so we're just gonna, connect this to the computer to the,
That's fine.
Do you have one? I only have one, because last time there was an extra one. Oh, was that Sure.
Yes.